All right, well, a childcare center in Lancaster is closing. The reason? They can't afford to keep going.
And they're not the only childcare provider in Wisconsin feeling this stress. NBC 15's Tyler Peters spoke with the Giggles and Wiggles Daycare Center today to hear more about their decision to close and, Tyler, why other providers in the state might have to do the same.
Yeah, Maria, Mark, the owners of the Giggles and Wiggles Daycare Center tell me that they made the decision to shut down just 2 weeks ago. They say the money from the Child Care Counts program had helped them stay afloat, but the COVID-era program is set to run out of funds by January, and child care centers are already seeing the effects.
It was a tearjerker, yeah, and it was just 2 weeks ago, and it was something that we didn't really have on our radar.
Kristin Holman-Steffel has been serving as a child care provider since 1997. She currently runs the daycare in Lancaster and oversees 29 children. She's also the one who had to inform the parents of those children her business is closing at the end of this month.
It's been heartbreaking. Many of these parents have been here for a decade. We have a family that had 4 children here, and it's rough.
Holman-Steffel says the government-funded program Child Care Counts had provided them nearly $4,000 a month, but in July, the check was cut in half.
With the shift in pay in this area, we just can't pay enough for good quality staff.
With diminishing funds and operating on a short staff, Holman-Steffel says she had to make the decision to close.
I just want to tell everybody that it's been such a pleasure, and we're really sorry.
Governor Tony Evers, who visited the center, says he hopes Wisconsin lawmakers bring those funds back to daycare centers like Holman-Steffel's.
I think the seriousness of this is going to bring people together, and I also know the Republicans are interested in passing some things, and maybe we could reach some accommodation too.
And Governor Tony Evers is calling a special session September 20th as he looks to work with lawmakers to secure more funding for child care centers across Wisconsin. In studio, Tyler Peters, NBC 15 News.